It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. We coming off a hell of a weekend. We got a big show for you guys here today. Before we get there, Brad, how you feel, man? How you feel?
I'm feeling good, Book. You know me, it's a holiday week. July 4th is around the corner. My sister-in-law is getting married, and I'm going to be officiating the wedding. The power is invested in me by the great state of Texas. You know, I got ordained online. You can do anything online these days. I'm ordained. I'm a minister now. And the funny thing is, they send you a card. This is the best part. They sent me a card in the mail. They said, keep this on you at all times. Do you see this? It says, credentials of ministry. My name on it.
That's like when I went to wrestling school and they gave me a plaque.
Here you go, kid. You know everything.
You graduated, kid.
You got it.
Couldn't get me a job nowhere.
But wait, I'm licensed.
It's crazy, dog. That's crazy.
I'm in the union. So I'm looking forward to that. That's actually on July 4th. But no, you know what? I'm still high off of our weekend. We had a hell of a weekend.
Big weekend. UFC 303 went down, and I tell you, man, that Prohashka. I was listening to you know, like you say, some of the guys pronounced it, you know, and I'm like, I'm gonna just go with Pereira from now on.
That's what I'm going with. It's easier.
It's easier. You know, so like when Bruce Buffer said Pereira, I say I'm all in.
That's what I'm going with.
That's what I'm going with from now on. And you know, from this point on, going forward, when I need to figure out how to pronounce somebody's name, that's where I'm going. Bruce Buffer.
That's a good one.
How about
that? Because I literally have heard Pereira, Pajeda, there was another one. Pereira, Pajeda, Poeria, or Pieria. I've heard Pieria with his name. There's all kinds of pronunciations. So I'm with you. I'm going Pereira. It's easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he went out there and made short work. And if you were listening to us on ESPN Radio, our national debut, by the way, thank you, everybody. We covered that UFC 303 and got to see it as it happened. The main event end as we were ending.
Were you just thanking yourself for hitting the button?
No, that was the people. That's what this show's all about. It's all about the people. You didn't hear that? I heard the people.
I heard it, but I'm watching you. Thank you. I mean, I thought you was Joe Biden for a second.
I got my juice. You know what I mean? I'm juiced right now. They jacked me up. You know what
my God, man. No, I'm serious, man. No, but hell of a main event, man. Hell of a main event went down. Of course, who should get the game ball?
from that night. Dan Ige.
Dan Ige gets the game ball. I agree with you 100%.
The only thing that would have made it better, and for people who don't know, Dan Ige took the fight for on 3 hours notice after Brian T. City Ortega had to drop out with 103-degree fever. And by the way, it was 103 degrees in the city today in Houston, and I understand you can't do anything when it's that hot, let alone inside your body. But Dan Ige took it on 3 hours notice, and that third round, I went back and watched it again. He started to really come alive. You know what I mean? Dan Ige started to be like a problem. He started getting warmed up. You know, if that was a 5-rounder, those wish rounds, like I told you about, that could have been a bad night for Diego Lopez. But that would have been made it so much better if he got off the couch, because I found out he was getting a massage at the time he got the call. And they're like, hey, you're in town? He's like, yeah. You want to come fight tonight? I mean, how crazy would it have been if he would have gotten off the massage table and knocked Diego Lopez out, or at least got a win?
I need to see that masseuse. She obviously had the stuff to get him going to step into that fight on 3 hours notice, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, those Vegas massages, man, they will shower you up and get you ready to go, man.
Why you quit while you're ahead? You know what I mean? Just, we get it. It's a good massage. They really work out the kinks, according to you.
Talk about the hot rocks, man. Talk about the hot rocks.
Hot stones, yes, they're very effective. They're very effective. But I also say that we got to acknowledge Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka for taking that fight on short notice. Alex Pereira is a force, BT. He is a force in the UFC.
No, man. The thing is, Prochazka took a totally different route to that knockout.
Straight to the floor.
No, from the first fight, he took a totally different route. He said, I'm going to go out here and fight this fight. Totally different. That calf kick really didn't come into play. It didn't come into play really at all in this fight.
No, the head kick came into play for him.
The head kick came into play, but the calf kick seemed like Prochazka was at that point where he was like, man, I think I figured it out. I got it. I'm good. I'm good. It's just like when you go and have a good round of golf and you say, man, I think I got it. I didn't figure this out. And then you go back to the next day and you shoot 20 points higher. What the hell was I thinking? I think that's what Prochazka found himself in that second round, because actually at the end of the first round, because he got hit with a hard shot, put him down, and I really feel like he was in no shape to actually really go out there and defend himself coming out in the second round. And it showed. It showed because that switch kick that Pereira hit him with, it seemed like it was, I wouldn't say it was telegraphed or anything like that, but it seemed like Prochazka would have been able to put up a hand, do something. But he caught it right on the temple, and boom, pretty much the lights was out. It was over.
It was all over. And, it was kind of over at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
Because Prochazka never recovered from that nasty, sneaky left hook. And it was like an inside left hook, real nice and tight. All the power went right into the dome piece of Yuri Prochazka. And, he said if he can't elevate and get better, he don't want to ever fight again, he being Yuri Prochazka.
Well, he might as well just go and stay at home on the sofa, because he ain't about to get no better. Thing is, you can't get better in the fight game like overnight. It just doesn't happen. And then you can reach a point to where you're at your peak, to where it's inevitable. It's not going to happen. I think Prochazka may be at that point. I don't see this old dog learning a whole lot of new tricks to go out there and combat, someone like Pereira. Just because Pereira is so dangerous, man. He is so dangerous. Right hand, left hand, that kick, low, high. And then his wrestling is not that bad to where he can't defend himself from that aspect as well. So man, I don't see anybody beating this dude other than if he moved up to heavyweight to compete against John Jones. That's the only time I see this guy having a problem inside the UFC.
Especially at 205, I don't see anybody in that division who can take him at this point. But you know what? That's a great thing about the UFC. Somebody always pops up out of nowhere, like he did. Like Alex Pereira did, and maybe it could be the guy to meet his maker. Now, the other thing that happened this weekend that I thoroughly enjoyed, I wanted to know if you watched, because we have a chatter who's wondering the same thing. King Dunna wants to know if you watched the BET Awards. Did you see any of the performances?
I didn't. I didn't watch it, man. I was busy, man. I don't have time to watch that kind of stuff anymore these days.
I'm just gonna say, Megan Thee Stallion, Houston's own, kicked it off.
What Megan was on that? Well, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and look at the replay. How about that?
Look. They had Megan Thee Stallion. They had Chloe Bailey. They had Tyler. It was a feast for the eyes. I will say it was a feast for the eyes and the ears. Mainly the eyes, though. I mean, they're all very talented women, but also very, very nice looking.
You gotta understand. I work at NXT, man.
I know. I watch that show too.
You feel me? So I get enough of that all week, man. So I'm good.
And also, Will Smith came back with a new record.
How was he? How was the audience for Will? I mean, how was the return?
They were there for Will. Will. Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad Will back too,
Me
man.
too.
I mean, I don't think Will should be ostracized for the rest of his life or something like that. Was it a bad moment? It was a terrible moment for Black folks. To say the least. I'm serious. That night, and I just got to put it out there like that. But should he have a second chance, come back and be able to redeem himself? Yes, he should. He didn't murder nobody. He didn't do anything towards women or anything like that. That was man on man. You know what I mean? So if we can't get past something like that to where we want to totally alienate this man, like I said, ostracize him for the rest of his life for something like that, I don't feel like that's right. I mean, the Oscars, what they told him, he can't come back for 10 years.
10 years. Get the hell up out of here, man.
I think that's fitting enough. I think that right there justifies the crime. It fits the crime. Let's just say that.
I agree with it. I agree with you, but he performed his new record. I'm glad that he's back, and people are embracing him. And also, your favorite Sexy Red was performing there last night.
Oh, too. Yeah, man. Sexy Red. We got to take a break, guys. We're going to be coming back in a minute. Ricochet, we got to talk about that. Dijak, Hardy's return to TNA. Shelton Benjamin, there's some news out there on him as well. Money in the Bank. Heatwave Forbidden Door. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. And like I said, it's a whole lot going on in pro wrestling, sports, and entertainment here. And I just found this stuff here just today because I hadn't been really looking for news, but I see Ricochet is now a free agent. He's now no longer a part of the WWE machine. What do you think about that?
You mean not surprised, obviously, because we saw that angle that they shot with him and Braun. There was rumors that he was getting written off. They were saying that, his contract was probably up in July. It is the 1st of July when we're taping this. So I'm not shocked by it at all. And to me, Ricochet, although I say I'm not shocked, I am surprised just in the sense of in the last couple of months, it felt like Ricochet was more relevant on television than he had been in quite some time. And he was getting significant time, and he's the inaugural speed champion, and they're trying to do stuff with him. But he wasn't obviously creatively satisfied or monetarily satisfied, one of the two, and thought that he's going to seek greener pastures. And I mean, to me, it's AEW or bust for him. I think that that's a place that makes not only the most sense for him stylistically, but also the most sense for him money wise. There's some money matches over there that I'm sure a lot of people want to see, including one with Will Ospreay. So it kind of seems to be where he's going.
Well, that's the see what the pulse is right now, as far as Ricochet seems to be beating towards AEW. And the thing is, I can see that, man. I can see that. Or Japan.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be a big hit in Japan. Or TNA. He'll be a hit wherever he goes, I think.
He'll be a hit wherever, yeah. But
I don't think Ricochet is going to have to worry about having a job or anything like that. I don't think he's going to be missing out on any money opportunities or anything like that. Will his star continue to shine in professional wrestling? I think so. Just because Ricochet is a hell of a talent. When Ricochet was picked up, he was, I think, the most highly touted indie wrestler at that point in time.
Absolutely.
And he, as far as a guy that can go out there in the middle of that ring and perform and do things that no man has seen before. Truly, seriously. When I first saw Ricochet do something that was, I think, one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen, where he was challenging somebody to do a over the top rope move, a dive over the top rope. Ricochet hit the ropes one side, dove over the top rope, did a full flip, landed on the ground in a pose like one of these, Marvel characters. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because he did it perfectly. I mean, he stopped, but just like a Marvel character. I was like, man, this dude is unbelievable. His in-ring prowess, I really don't think we got a chance to really see it in WWE.
Well, I mean, we saw what he could do.
We saw what he could do, but we didn't see like those matches that he pulled off on those indie circuits. You know what I mean? In those certain matches with certain guys where we just all out, you know what I mean? Speed extraordinaire, but add about 15 or 20 more minutes on to it, maybe 20 more kickouts. You know what I mean? But no, this dude, when he was in Lucha Underground, wearing the mask, I was always high on Ricochet. I was always high on this dude just because his in-ring performances, I don't think you could say enough about. He is truly that good, so I don't think Ricochet is going to have to worry about finding a job anywhere.
No, he's not going to worry. He's not going to hurt for work. And going to your point, I just think Ricochet stylistically might not have been a match up for the WWE.
I think so. I think you might be right. I mean, I look at a guy like Finn Balor. Finn Balor adjusted a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. He did.
I think being a part of that Judgment Day helped Finn Balor as well. Finally find himself, finally realize, man, I need to slow down and try to find more character more than anything, because, we think about, Finn Balor and that demon character. We thought that demon character was going to be something that could have just carried him through the rest of his career. He didn't have to do anything but just put the paint on, you know what I mean? But he realized, I think, it's going to take more than just the paint to get over in WWE.
Well, to transition to Finn Balor for a second, I do agree with that. And he's been doing the best character work as a part of the Judgment Day, I think, in his entire WWE run, especially as a heel, too. What do you think of him and JD McDonough, that #1 stunner? They are the new World Tag Team Champions over there on Raw. They won the titles this past Monday. This is JD McDonough's first main roster championship in the WWE. I know you're a big fan of his. Do you like with the belts?
No, man, that's a good look. It's a good look for JD McDonough. I was wondering if JD was going to get lost in the shuffle, just because there's so much talent on that roster. It is all about competing and competing at your highest level. I really, I'm glad for JD, because in NXT, second to none, man. This dude could go out and perform with the best. His performances always made me feel something. They moved me, and I go, man, this dude, man, he's got everything. I couldn't wait for JD McDonough to get to the main roster, but I did not want him to leave NXT just because he was one of my guys, man. He was one of my guys that like I said, I had high praise for and still do. And I'm just glad to see him get some shine on the main roster. Tag team champions, baby. JD McDonough, that #1 stunner, man. See, that's the only thing he's missing. That's the only thing he's missing is a hype man like myself. That's it.
So now you're throwing your name in the hat. We hear it now.
Right.
The next headline is Booker T wants to manage JD McDonough.
No, I had to say that. I said hype man from afar, from behind the mic. That's it. You feel me? I'm like Flavor Flav. You know what I mean? But I don't want to go on the road with you.
I hear that. But to go back to Ricochet, the fact that he's a free agent, again, not surprising. And I would be the only thing that would shock me is if he does not end up in AEW, if he decides to go somewhere else first. That's the only thing that would shock me. And I just feel that, I mean, just think about it on paper. Him and Will Ospreay, that was the match that really got them both on the radar. The match they had with each other.
Yeah. To put these, for all these guys to be kind of like in that same little niche, that same little crew, I think it's good for them. I mean, I think it's good, but I think it's not going to be something that's going to be roses all the time. Just like from the beginning, we saw all of these guys come together and we thought they were buddies and. Everybody was friends, and then all of a sudden we saw the cracks, and then we saw the craters, and then we saw the, guys fighting, you know what I mean, going crazy. So but I do see that being a very, very soft landing spot for Ricochet.
But this also tells us why it's so important to have competition in pro wrestling, or not competition, but have other places that the guys can go, guys and girls, because just because you are a elite wrestler like Ricochet is doesn't mean WWE is the best spot for you, right? Just because you're an elite talent like Swerve Strickland doesn't necessarily mean AEW is the right spot for you, or it could be. But what I'm saying is it's nice to have the options for guys because you might fit better in this system than you did in this system and be able to really show off what you can do and what you want to bring to the crowd.
I agree 100%. I mean, I think, Ricochet is one of those guys who fit into, someone like in AEW just because, the 5-star match thing, you know what I mean? Everybody's always looking for a 5-star match. I think Ricochet is a type of guy that when he goes into the ring, he is going to be looking for a 5-star match. I just think, I don't say that for any other reason, that I just think that's his mentality to go out and perform at that highest level that he possibly can and go out there and, create some magic in the middle of the ring. That's what a lot of these young guys do it for these days, man. It's not about, the party scene like it was back in the day, being on the road. You can't wait till the match is over with so you can get to the bar. No, and these guys, man, they're really all about going out there and performing and having these matches that they can talk about, for many, many years. For me, I didn't care about talking about matches or like that, man. I was going out there trying to perform for the people, and if they had a great memory from it, and I got a nice fat check of some long green ducats, we all was happy. You know what I mean? So that's why I think I did it, man. I did it for the the performances. I didn't, as well as like I say, getting paid. I didn't do it, for the 5-star. You gotta. I'm gonna tell you right now, going out and trying to have that. We got a break coming up. Going out there and trying to have these 5-star matches, man. In the long run, for these young guys, if I could just caution them just a little bit. You wanna crawl before you walk. You wanna walk before you run. You wanna run before you start diving off the top rope. You know what I mean? And you want to do all of those things in stages. And I just feel like, you want to, work these matches and work these spots and stages. If you want to be like me, when you damn near 60, as far as still being able to throw a football 80 yards, you know what I mean? Dunk a basketball, all that stuff. I can't do that right there, but I in my mind, if your mind can think it, that's what they say in the Bible, ain't it? That's what hey, man, we got to take a break.
I am a minister. I should know.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker?
All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
And guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section and row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, Book.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Gee, guarantee. Oh, yes. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We just chopping it up, talking a little something. I know we probably got some super chatters in there, man. We're going to get to you guys, man. We appreciate you always for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes. Caviar dreams, man. I see former WWE superstar who's now a free agent and moving very, very quickly. Dijak just showed up at the wrestling promotion Blitzkrieg Wrestling. Cut a huge promo, used a lot of explicit words, saying that, man, it's going to be a different Dijak. We're going to be doing it my way now. And if you want something, you don't ask for it. You got to take it. That's what Dijak is right now. And Dijak, not wasting any time. My thing is, do you see maybe Dijak moving towards AEW as well? Where do you see him landing?
That's a good one. I like him in TNA. I think we talked about this last week. I really like the idea of him and someone like Moose, or him and Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, mixing it up. I feel like Dijak could come in to a TNA and be one of the main guys rather quickly, And what we were talking about last week when we got the news that he was released or couldn't come to terms on a new deal with WWE is he just started in that last NXT run, really putting everything together for me. Like, as a fan watching, I go, this guy is really that triple threat match at Stand and Deliver. I could have watched that match every single day. You know what I mean? Like, it was how good it was. And so him going into TNA, I feel like he could be a difference maker right on the onset. Whereas if he went to AEW, there's so much talent over there. There's so many guys and girls over there. There's only so many spots over there. And I feel like Dijak might check boxes that other people currently do, and he wouldn't stand out as much as he would in a TNA or even a Japan situation. Yeah, him in Japan, man, he could be the what's the term? The Gaijin that comes over and runs roughshod.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not a Stan Hansen type. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I feel like Dijak. I don't know. Of course, he'll fit in AEW. Of course, he will. Would that be a great spot for him to land and make some money? Of course, it will. I'm not going to sit here and say anything, negative against him. Maybe moving that route. But I do see Japan being a great spot for him to actually, press the reset button for Dijak. Really create that monster and go on a hell of a run. And, I don't know if he ever wants to be a part of WWE, be a part of that promotion ever again or anything like that. But it's not impossible for Dijak to find his way back inside the WWE because I'm like you. I felt like Dijak was pulling everything together as far as his work. That's one thing you didn't have to worry about with Dijak. Only thing I worried about with Dijak more than anything was him getting hurt. All right. But the dude seemed like he was indestructible. I saw him break his finger right, in the ring and, just put it right back in. Just like that's what kind of dude, sick as far as pain threshold. But as far as the guy that was putting it all together, I really felt like Dijak is a guy that he'll make any roster better. He really would. He would make any roster that he works with better. But like you said, I wouldn't want to see him get lost in the shuffle or anything like that, or go on a rampage or having, some of the craziest matches that we've ever seen just for the hell of it.
Yeah. So Dijak, again, like we were talking about Ricochet, benefit to a roster. That's the guy that if you have the ability to have him, you want him on your roster. And so whether that be TNA, AEW, or New Japan, I agree with you. But speaking of TNA, you seem like you wanted.
No, go ahead. Speaking of TNA.
You teased it in the first segment. The Hardy Boys are both out of AEW. They're into TNA. It did not go, I think, the way that a lot of people wanted them to see in TNA as a tag. I know Jeff had some issues.
In AEW.
AEW, excuse me. Jeff had some issues and they had injury bugs. There's all kinds of stuff going on. They didn't really get a run in AEW, and now they're going back to TNA, which was the home for them after they left the WWE the first time.
They didn't get a run. If I'm gonna be critical of AEW, let me go ahead and just be real here for a second. I think they were mismanaged, misused. The Hardys in AEW, because they brought the Hardys in and they wanted to recreate the Hardys from when they first came in the WWE and were having ladder matches with the Dudleys. And I just thought that was a bad movie. The first thing Matt Hardy did was like dive off a scaffold or something like that. What was it? Forklift or something.
Forklift, I believe.
And damn near killed himself. I think the last thing Jeff Hardy was a part of was Sammy Guevara, breaking his nose. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't want a broken nose, bro. That's sleep. Those are those are long, very, very long sleepless nights. Not being able to breathe. That's not a good feeling at all. That experiment in AEW, it did not work out at all. It didn't work out at all because there again, I thought they were mismanaged and misused in AEW. They just wasn't used properly. That's all. Well, and is that a knock? Yes, a knock. It's a knock. But it's not a jab.
Booker's feeling spicy. No. But
it wasn't a jab or anything like that. It's a knock. Just because, just like say, for instance, when Bret Hart came to WCW, he was misused. He was mismanaged. Am I right? Am I right or wrong on that?
1,000%.
So that's the only thing I'm saying as far as that go. Hopefully, somebody may agree with me.
Now, in both of those instances you brought up with Matt and Jeff, one with the forklift and one with the broken nose, I believe Sammy Guevara was involved in both of those. Maybe Sammy was just bad luck for the Hardys. He's just bad luck for the Hardys.
It was a live wire. I'm gonna tell you right now. He will pop off in a heartbeat
on something, man.
As well as he's a Reality of Wrestling alumni.
He is. He's got a banner in the Walker Texas Lawyer Arena, which you can see in person on July the 13th at Revolution Rising, the next reality wrestling show. We're gonna have big matches going on there. We'll get to that in a minute. But Mensah, by the way, main man Mensah versus Ed Stone for the Reality Wrestling Championship. Yeah. It's a big one.
That's huge, man. That's huge. We definitely got to talk about that.
Were Jeff and Matt the only guy, older veterans who came into AEW that didn't get like the love that everyone else gets? Like Christian's got a title, Sting got a title, Edge gets a title, Jericho gets a title.
Well, I think the Hardys just never got a chance to get off, out the box. Excuse me, out the blocks. That would be the right phrase, right? Yeah, they never really got a chance to get out the blocks just because they never got a chance to really gel as a tag team in AEW like that. Either one was hurt and the other one, was working. Jeff was having some, personal issues. It was a lot of things going on where those guys never really came together and got a chance to really get out the blocks and get running. So I think that's what that was more than anything. I think, but there again, I do think if they would have had them together as a tag team, I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But the way Tony Khan booked matches, I would imagine Tony Khan was, reliving a lot of those, Hardy matches that they had before. And like, man, we could do some really, really great stuff here with the Hardys, expecting the Hardys to still be able to go out there and do it like they did it, when they, was in their prime. And nothing against the Hardys, man, but Father Time waits for no man.
Doing those ladder matches, again, when I was younger, I loved watching these things. I loved watching the triangle ladder match at WrestleMania 2000 with the Dudleys and the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and then pretty much the rematch of that TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17 right here in Houston, Texas. I watch those matches now, and I kind of like, oh, God, man, how are y'all doing this to yourself? And what's great for them is obviously they're remembered for this iconic rivalry, iconic feud, and iconic match. But then it seems like once you're known for being an expert at the ladder match, you always got to find yourself in a ladder match. And that doesn't extend a career. It doesn't extend it at all.
No, it's a bad thing when you're good at that kind of stuff. I mean, I remember Kofi running up that ladder, and they booked his ass every year to run up something.
Yeah, I mean, Kofi with the rumble spot. Shelton was a guy who used a lot in ladder matches.
Go back and watch Booker T in the ladder match with Christian. My biggest move in the ladder match was the bookend off the second rung.
He's got 10 rungs on a ladder.
Bro, I got high with it. I got up with it though. I got some hops with it. It looked Look, go back and watch my cage dive.
Worst one in the history of the business.
The reason why you'll never see it, in replay or anything like that, because I'm gonna be honest with you. We got to take a break in 10 seconds. It was the worst cage dive in the history of this damn business. Purposely. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando Whole Body Deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. The most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick, our home field advantage throughout the playoffs, but you know what? Second time.
Absolutely, Book, and let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long-lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time since switching to Mando. I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, rondos, and even those stinky crevices. We all got it's aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking a little wrestling. Some of my favorite wrestlers, like the Hardy Boys and Dijak, Ricochet, and the thing is, I don't think we need to spend too much time on the Hardys. Other than this one thing, I do feel like the Hardys should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. That's it. Those guys should be first ballot WWE Hall of Famers. And when the number come up at the time, come back around, hopefully the Hardys will take their rightful place inside WWE Hall of Fame.
Beyond deserving. The Hardys are beyond deserving of the Hall of Fame. And, I'm actually getting to a point to where, the UFC does these, they have different wings, like a pioneer wing or whatever. And then they have the match or the fight wing. And the fight wing is they induct great fights into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I would almost like to see that one day with matches where like certain matches that are historically or culturally significant to the industry are inducted into the Hall of Fame. So they're remembered forevermore.
Yeah,
and if you were to do that, the TLC matches and the saga would definitely be a Hall of Fame worthy induction.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. Yeah.
What when I say that, what's the first match that comes to your mind that you would induct in the Hall of Fame?
No, that would be it. Those TLC matches.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Jeff Hardy where they had the ladder from the ring to the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
He took it, bang, right onto the ladder, and the ladder didn't break. It bent real bad. And I could only imagine how much pain his body went through that night when he got in the shower. That's what I was thinking about when I saw that bump. I was thinking about how he felt when he got in the shower. That's the only thing I was thinking about, because I know that pain had to set in sometime after that adrenaline rush goes away. You know what I mean? The nerves come back alive. When the adrenaline factor goes away, that's just part of it. And I can only imagine. He has to have a very, very high pain threshold, but to see that live and knowing what, just say for instance, I've taken a crutch across the back or a kendo stick across the back or something like that, and how bad that hurts. I'm like, the ladder, come on, man. Come on. There's no give. There's no way you can fake that. There's no way you can fake it. It's as real as it can possibly be. And to watch Jeff do that, not just on one occasion, but on multiple occasions, has been extraordinary. It really has. I truly don't know how Jeff Hardy, Matt as well, but Jeff especially. I remember that bump he took in TNA off the cage.
Oh my goodness!
It looked like he killed himself. And so no, man, it's definitely takes a toll. So I can only imagine, what those guys are going through now.
I remember WrestleMania 16, WrestleMania 2000, the Anaheim Pond is the first triangle ladder match they had. And they did a spot in the aisleway where there's not any matting or anything. There's some concrete, under there. And Bubba Ray is on the table. Jeff's on what looks like a 15-foot ladder. It could have been higher, but it looks like 15 feet up, maybe higher. And he does the swanton off the ladder through the table. Bubba moves at the last second. And Jeff takes the bump through the table onto that concrete. And you see his body kind of do that when it hits concrete, just reverberate off of that. And it was such a nasty bump that even JR, this is WrestleMania, and he's on commentary. And he's like, hey, fall off a 20-foot ladder. And some idiot out there is going to say he knows how to fall. And I remember because it was such a nasty bump.
Yeah.
JR almost had to break kayfabe just a little bit to let everyone know that sucked. Okay. He doesn't know how to fall. That sucked.
Yeah, I say some idiot out there is going to say
he knows how to fall.
He's figured out how to fall good.
JR wanted us to know that was a bump, man. That was a bump.
Man, when you see stuff like that, for me as a wrestler, when I see it, man, I just cringe. When I see talk about the triple threat match with Dijak, and Josh Briggs, and those guys, and I'm like, bro, the stuff that they did in that match, man, it's like I never thought about doing that kind of stuff. I never thought about throwing caution to the wind the way these young guys do it today. It's amazing the way these young guys go out and perform. And I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I don't know if it's, if their body's
It's a terrible thing.
better shape than say again.
It's a terrible thing.
It may be. I think it is.
I'll say this.
We could be wrong. We won't know the full effect until these guys reach that 4-0.
Well, yeah, the 4-0 number. Now, here's the thing, because you mentioned it earlier when talking about Ricochet in 5-star matches. I think the definition of a 5-star match has changed and evolved over time, right? We think of a 5-star match now as a crazy bumps, crazy spots, kicking out of every finish, boom, 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 nonstop, no breathing, off the wall, balls out action.
That's right.
And that's what today characterizes a 5-star match. To whereas you fast forward or rewind rather back to go back to Hogan and Andre if you want to. You can't tell me Hogan and Andre wasn't a 5-star match in the sense of a moment, special, working to one spot. That whole match was centered around one thing only, the body slam. And when he body slams Andre, the roof jumps up off the one. That's the only thing they did. That's the only thing that mattered. They worked to that one spot. And to me, that's a 5-star match. I mean, you can have different definitions, but I think that's the classic definition of 5-star. Or you can go to Ricky and Flair and things like that in the 1-hour draws. But certain matches, yes, where they lacked in work rate or spots, it's because the psychology was working toward a certain goal in mind, which made it a 5-star match. If I can be on the edge of my seat and y'all haven't touched yet, that's a 5-star match, in my opinion.
Well, I think Steamboat Savage, WrestleMania 3 compares to any match that anyone has ever had in this business.
Yes.
I really do. I'm talking about from the Ricochets to the Will Ospreys and anybody that ever worked. It had action. It was action-packed, action personified. But it had so much drama. It had so much feel, so much thrill to it, to where you could not help but get enthralled with what the story was between these two guys. It was compelling to the point to where you knew what it was, but you still felt like it was real. And when you get to that point right there with professional wrestling, man, that is totally suspending the, disbelief to the point to where you do not care. You do not care anymore. So for me, today's wrestlers, they can go out there and do so much more than Steamboat and Savage did. But can they go out there and make those fans feel the same way when they leave that arena? Because the thing is, today you're going to see just about everybody on the card want to go out and have that same match that, Ospreay and Ricochet go out and try to have, but no one could do what Steamboat and Savage did on the card that night better than them, or, duplicate it. It just wasn't going to happen.
It's almost, it's almost like the difference between the wrestlers of yesteryear and the way they worked versus today is almost like women on Instagram, and then before there was Instagram, okay? Like before there's Instagram, you'd go out somewhere, one would have a real nice dress on, be real put together, and you'd be thinking, oh man, she looks so good. You're not seeing anything, right? But you're just, you're the theater of the mind, right?
Yeah.
And then with Instagram, it's like, no, we're going to show you everything we got now.
You got to see this.
You got to see it all. I'm just giving you all my good stuff up front. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the difference between.
You know what? I'm off the gram. I stay off the gram. Okay, I'm just letting everybody know out there. Even though they got a lot of stuff on there, man, but I try to stay off of it because I tell you, man, you're right. You're right. It's just like that. It's serious. Evolution, man. That's all it is. It's just evolution. I think that's all it is. I just think it's evolution.
Well, I know we're going to go to a break soon, so I want to stay on this subject for just a second. 5-star matches. Now, again, this is a term that kind of originated from the Wrestling Observer and Meltzer and all that stuff. Now, I want to read to you some of the 5-star matches from WWE history very quickly, and you tell me if you remember them or not, and then we can see how this definition has changed.
45 seconds.
Razor and Shawn, WrestleMania.
All right.
You know that one.
Yeah.
Brett versus Owen, WrestleMania. We remember that one.
Yeah.
Bret versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. We remember that one. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. CM Punk versus John Cena. We remember all these matches, right? And then the next 5-star match that happens is Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and the Velveteen Dream. I don't remember that match.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you right now, and and that's the liking to someone like him saying something about the WWE Hall of Fame. All of those people that you just named are people that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Those are he were fans. He was a fan. That's why those people had 5-star matches. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, sucker?
And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Just chopping it up, talking a little wrestling. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Shelton Benjamin was in the news. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't.
Shelton Benjamin was in the news. He actually came out with an apology for an angle that he did on television some years ago with Yoshitatsu, where he was the gold standard, and he was pretty much making fun of Yoshitatsu, being from Japan and whatnot. But it was an angle. It wasn't something that he said on Twitter. It wasn't a racial slur or anything, but people were talking about a racist segment that he had when he was the gold standard, and Shelton Benjamin, like I say, came out with an apology. And I just want to say, Shelton, you ain't got to apologize for something that damn stupid, okay? That was an angle on television. I know you personally, and if anybody knows Shelton Benjamin personally, they know he's perhaps one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet in your life. I know he has not a racist bone in his body. And then for something like this to resurface this many years later, to keep race in the news, to keep race, this is the problem with this world today. The reason why racism will never, ever go away is because of people that still want to talk about it, still want to bring it up, and people still want to be racist. You know what I mean? It'll never go away. Racism will never go away. But to just bring it up, just to perpetuate, I don't know why. I can't even answer that question. To equate it any form of racism towards Shelton Benjamin, I just want to speak up on it and speak up on Shelton's behalf. Shelton's one of the best dudes I ever met, and Shelton has no reason to apologize for anything, especially an angle that he did on television with Yoshitatsu. When I've witnessed him with Yoshitatsu in the back as a brother, You know what I mean? So I just hate to see these stories like that come out, especially these racial issues when race is such a hot button in America today. You know what I mean? I just wish we can get away from stories like that. I really do.
Yeah, it looks like there was a tweet that went out, talking about this angle, and Shelton replied and said, "If there's one thing I could erase in my career, this is it. I'm completely and utterly disgusted by this racist ish. I'm glad the ending was my character getting kicked in the head and losing." Um, well, obviously Shelton. If anybody's blaming Shelton for that, that's ridiculous. It's not like he wrote it. Like Shelton didn't pin the segment. He didn't go. At least in my knowledge, I don't think he pitched the segment. I think he was probably told, "Hey, this is what we want you to do. Your character's a heel. This is a debut of a guy. Run him down. And the thing is, he's going under, so it's some old school thinking. But it's like, run him down, say some stuff about his heritage. It's gonna get the crowd on his side, and that way you get your comeuppance at the end. It seems like a old school wrestling story. But yes, have we progressed past racial things in wrestling? Sure, but this was what, 2009? I know it doesn't sound like that long ago, but the culture was completely different in '09 than it is in 2024.
In the WWE,
in WWE, and in the United States, and in the world.
That's true. That's true. Yes.
100%, I
100%.
2009 was a whole different world.
Definitely
a whole different world.
Definitely.
And this is the first term of President Obama. The culture is changing, the lexicon is changing, and for the better, definitely. Most of it's been for the better. There's some things that people take too far, like digging up old stuff. When we don't even know. Like if you go back and watch some movies from the 80s, and you're gonna be like, whoa.
Whoa. You know what, but the thing is, why would someone be thinking about asking a question from 2009 with a racist angle? Why?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe to make a story out of something.
Exactly my point. It's a non-story, really, other than someone trying to make it a story in 2024. Something that happened in 2009. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I am sure there's things in WWE history they wish never happened on camera. Things that obviously went too far, but again, it's just a sign of the times.
I agree. I just want to get that out there, man. I know we probably got some super chatters we need to get to. I know we got Money in the Bank. We got Heatwave coming up.
Yes.
Of course, Forbidden Door just went down as well. So I don't know where you want to go, man.
Well, I say before we get to the super chatters, let's also say that your main man Mensa is going to be at Reality of Wrestling, challenging for the Reality Wrestling Championship. The first time a contracted NXT superstar or WWE superstar is doing such a thing. Talk to me about it. How did this come together? What's your thoughts on Mensa versus Edge Stone at Reality of Wrestling next Saturday night?
Man, I'm excited. Mensa actually asked for this. Said he wanted to come to Reality of Wrestling. He wanted to come and compete and show Texas what wrestling was truly all about by challenging, the top dog at Reality of Wrestling at Stone. So my thing is, I'm excited. I'm excited about being, a part of the festivities. I'm going to just sit back, watch, wait, and anticipate, just like I do with NXT. I want to see what Mensa brings to the table because we know Ed Stone is one of the best, here in Texas. We know Ed Stone has the potential to, go to the next level. And now to be able to compete with someone who's already at that next level, I'm so highly anticipating and look forward to, the 13th. So guys, if you're anywhere in the Texas City, Houston surrounding area, you better get to 9300 Emmett Lowry Expressway. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. And if you have any problems finding the building, just look for that huge, giant LED board with Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena on it, with Reality of Wrestling flashing on it, with me slamming and spinning Rooney and on top. So guys, you'll see it. It's a big beacon in the sky. Just follow it.
Just follow it, man. Just follow it. Well, we're excited to have Mensa down there. Obviously, we're going to talk about NXT Heatwave here in a moment. Let's go to Money in the Bank real quick, though. Money in the Bank. This is one of those annual shows. It's going to be from the 6, from Toronto, right? Toronto, Canada is where this is going to be emanating from. The Scotia Bank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada this weekend. Few big matches. Let's start with this one. Let me ask you if this happens. Sami Zayn is defending the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's been on a tear in the WWE since coming to the main roster. Sami's a great Intercontinental Champion. I just feel like the time has come. Make the Braun. No bread, no water, just gold. What do you think about it?
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad. I'm wondering if he's ready for that yet. You know what I mean? Everybody's, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of, guys like myself from that school is saying that Braun Breaker is the next big thing. He's the next star. He's the guy that, looks to be getting ready to get the rocket put on him and send him straight to the moon. So I don't think this one you want to screw up. It's not one you want to miss out on. If you're going to do it, do it. Sink or swim. Sink or swim. You're going to put him in a position where he's either going to, rise to the occasion or he's not. Simple as that. He's wanted to this position, be on the main roster. Give him the ball. Give him the ball. Let's see if he can run with it. That's the only way we're going to find out. It's the only way we're going to find out. Give him the ball. Let him run with it.
Another match that I'm looking forward to is this 6-man tag team match. You're going to see Cody, Randy, and Kevin versus the Bloodline. Now, we're assuming Solo Sikoa is going to be one of those 3 men in the 6-man tag. I'm hoping we see Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf or a Raw alumnus, be there on that 6-man tag. But what do you think? Do you think the world's ready for Jacob Fatu at Money in the Bank to see what he can do?
No, the way he's made his debut, he got to be in that match.
Got to, right?
I mean, that's a no-brainer. He's got to be in that match. Just, come on. His splash on SmackDown was huge, dropping 3 major players. Now we're heading to Toronto. Let's get it done, man. Let's just bring Jacob in there. Let's let him get his shine. Let's let the people see what they've been missing for years, up close and personal. So, man, for Jacob to make that trip to Canada too, man, that right there, just for Jacob to be able to travel around the world now, for the world to be able to see Jacob Fatu, not just the United States, the world, finally get a chance to see this young man. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing Jacob there.
We got about 30 seconds, so let me get some last-minute predictions here for Money in the Bank for the men and the women. You have Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and one to be decided. Who are you liking out of that matchup for the Money in the Bank winner? I like to see Jey Uso probably get it. Jey or Carmelo?
I don't know, man. Of course, Melo, he just got there, man, and didn't win the Money in the Bank. That says what?
He's the guy.
Exactly.
Next in line.
And the thing is, I don't know if Melo's at that point yet. You talk about Jey. Of course, Jey is. He's been looking for that moment. We'll find out. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With EarnIn, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
EarnIn is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the EarnIn app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey,
Even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earn In part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earn In.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earn In today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earn In now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. In the meantime, I'm sitting there waiting on you. I'm just flipping through my phone. I got this one message that just came through. It says, buy 50K followers, get 25K followers for free. Only $3,333 US. Is this the way people get their followers up?
I guess that's how people get their followers up.
$3,333 US dollars. You can get 75,000 followers. You buy 50 and you get 25 free.
Well, there you go.
Is that a good deal? I'm wondering.
I don't know. How active are these followers? Are they engaged? Or are they just egg accounts? We don't know who are these people. Who are these people?
I don't know.
How do they follow you? How do they get paid? How do they get their money?
I don't look, bro. I'm just reading it. It just came through.
Why are you getting these messages? What websites have you been visiting?
Well, we got to get the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel up.
Oh, yeah. We're having such a difficult time. We're having such a hard time doing that, BT. Oh, it's just so difficult. You know what? Enough of that foolishness. Let's talk about Money in the Bank NXT Heatwave going down this weekend in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. One more thing on the Money in the Bank for the women. So far, you have Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi. From that list, is there anybody who sticks out to you?
Of course, Tiffany Stratton, just because she comes from NXT. I'm NXT pro. I'm pro NXT. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there. JD McDonough, Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton. I'm with all of them. I'm riding with all of them. I want all the young guys to come up, take everybody's spot. That's the way I'm looking at it. So Tiffany Stratton, hopefully she'll go out and show up and show out just like she always does. She's definitely championship material. I feel like you put her in the championship position, she'll go out and let's just say this: you give her the ball, I don't think you have to worry about her scoring. I really don't.
They don't have odds yet for the Money in the Bank matches, but they do have for the World Heavyweight Championship. Damian Priest is minus 300 favorite over Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn is the favorite over Braun Breaker, and the Bloodline the heavy favorite over Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens. Let's transition though real quick to NXT Heatwave. What match are you looking forward to the most? Because I have one that I just really want to see, and that is Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship. Also, that fatal four-way for the NXT title with Trick Willie, Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Sean Spears. Sounds good to me, too. What's sticking out to you?
Of course, the two title matches that you just talked about sticks out just because, Roxanne, of course, that's my girl. Lola Vice, I love me some Lola. I ain't gonna lie. She's damn good. She's having a meteoric rise in NXT, and I see her making it to the main roster relatively quick. Trick Williams going to have his hands full in this matchup. We're going to really get a chance to see the growth of Trick Williams in this matchup on Sunday night. So I'm looking forward to both of those matches. And right now, I'm not gonna pick a winner or anything like that because especially with the ladies, Lola, she's deserving. She's deserving of it. But can she go out and perform with the prodigy, Roxanne Perez? Somebody who's like my little girl, someone who trained, under my expert tutelage. Oh man, it's gonna be a hell of a bout.
Hell of a night, and also Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka on the card, Obafemi taking on Wesley, Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
Looking forward to that as well. Wesley and Obafemi. Wesley loses, he goes to the back of the line forever.
As long as Obafemi is the champion, that is the last chance match. They're doing something similar at Money in the Bank as well, Seth Rollins and Damian Priest. So it's a good weekend coming up, really good wrestling weekend coming up. And now we got to get to some super chatters. I just want to say for the record, my money for the women's Money in the Bank, I want to put it on Chelsea Green. I'm just gonna throw that name out there. Unexpected, but I like Chelsea, and I think she should be rewarded for some of this amazing work she's been doing over the last couple of years. All right, Book, you ready to get into some super chats?
Do it, man. Do it.
We have a new member of the channel. George G has joined the channel. So
give us some Roni, brother.
I don't have the other. So I don't know where's my little privates.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
There we go. He's now part of the channel. Big Soul says, Book, in a boxing match, who wins? Who's your money on, Brad or Vic?
That's a hard one, man. That's a really hard one, bro. If you ever seen Brad, just put his dukes up, you go, wow, man, ain't nothing about to happen here. And Vic is kind of like the same way. Vic, he ain't finna fight nobody. Brad and Vic, they're not fighters. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna wage on that one right there. I don't know.
You know what? I'll bet on my damn self.
I'll
scratch, I'll bite,
okay,
I'll claw.
If you want to find yourself in a match at Reality Wrestling with Vic Joseph, I can set it up.
Let's book it.
All right.
Book it.
All right.
I'll whip Vic Joseph's ass all the way back to Orlando.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I'll let Vic know tomorrow. You know what? I'm gonna text him here in a minute.
Text him in a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shoot,
I think Vic did some Golden Glove boxing. That's about it.
The Wii does not count. So let's go to Mike Woodson, who says, Book, when you feud with Harlem Heat 2000, whose idea was it that you couldn't use the letter T and you were only known as Booker? Was that a Russo idea?
It wasn't my idea. I tell you that. It might have been my brother's idea. You know what I mean? But it wasn't one of the greatest angles in wrestling by any means. Let's just say that.
No, it was not. It was not a good angle. But you know what? It's memorable.
Yeah. I was just talking about Harlem Heat 2000 on NXT just last week.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Everybody remembers Harlem Heat 2000, sometimes for, the wrong reasons, like the T thing. But you know what? Look, like I said, it's memorable. People do remember that. So
to hell with that era. Okay. Let's just say that.
Who killed WCW? Big T. No, I'm just kidding. Mike Edwards said, love this show. I light up and let the show ride. Who was the guy or girl from reality wrestling who exceeded your expectations, Book?
Brian Keith.
Good answer.
Brian Keith, the bounty hunter. He's doing a thing in AEW right now. And I tell you, man, when I see Brian Keith, man, he reminds me of me so much. He goes out and a lot of my stuff, I can see it, and his performances pretty much speak for themselves. This guy's a performer, man. He's a talent. Anywhere in the world, could work with anybody in the world. That's my boy, Brian Keith.
Yeah, Brian Keith is a phenomenal answer. That's a phenomenal answer. Let's see. Callie Toenail says, poor Paul, got to send him a get well e-card. He got done dirty for not acknowledging. The Bloodline 2.0 going to pay for that, but I predict it won't be at Money in the Bank. Paul Heyman took a hell of a bump. Power bomb through an announce table when he wouldn't acknowledge Solo Sikoa.
This new Bloodline, man, either you in or you out, including Paul Heyman, man. And I like it. I like it. You got to be able to step on some toes, man. Step on some toes and keep on walking, Jack. That's what you got to be able to do in this bit. I love the mentality of Solo Sikoa. And now he got that werewolf, flanked by that werewolf. Oh, shucky ducky. Man, it's about to get crazy up here. What we got next?
We got another one. WIY says, what is your opinion on the Wyatt Six?
I'm going to reserve my opinion on the Wyatt Six until I've seen more of them.
Okay, that's fair.
All right,
that's fair.
I'm going to say that. All right,
that's fair.
I've seen, I think, a little bit more than enough of them at McDonald's.
Uh-oh. Okay. We'll talk about that. Let's see. Mile High Blurred wants to know the Heyman family or the Heenan family. Who you got? Ooh, that's a good one. So with the Heyman family, you get what? Brock, CM Punk, Roman.
Going with the Heenan family.
I'm going with the Heenan family too.
Going with the Heenan family.
Because like Heenan family, you had Andre, you had the Brain Busters.
Yeah, monsters, man.
You had Harley Race.
Yeah.
You had Haku.
I'm going with Heenan, man. Yeah.
Lex Luger, Paul Orndorff, Mr. Perfect.
Would have murdered the whole world.
Look. You had Mr. Perfect, Paul Orndorff, Rick Rude, Ric Flair.
Yeah.
They were all King Kong Bundy, Ken Patera.
No, that's what, bro. You ain't gonna tell me. All right, I know you ain't
Hercules
gonna
Hernandez.
We got any more super chats?
Hell yeah, we do, man.
You better run them.
Mel Manchild Jones says, I think Stu and Siegel ran off with the bag. Okay. You know what that means?
No, Stu and Siegel.
Hopefully we didn't just trap ourselves into something we don't know what we're talking about. I'm always nervous in super chats when I don't know what it is. I'm like, am I getting set up to say something that I don't know what that means?
I'm trying to figure that out. I don't got that one.
Uncle Book, just like the Miz, I can't remember a time where you weren't wearing a championship gold.
Boom. Yeah, Miz definitely a player, dog. People can say what they want to say about the Miz, man, but Miz has, carved his, his place, out in stone as far as his place in this business, man. He's done a hell of a lot in his time. He really has.
This one comes from Shayla, who says, congratulations, Booker and Brad, on your radio show / Hall of Fame going national.
Boom.
ESPN.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, one under the belt. We got more coming. This comes from King Reezy. This is our final one of the day. Yo, Booker T, as a longtime fan, I've always admired the awesome gear you've worn over the years. What's been your favorite wrestling attire to wear in your career?
White boots, white tights, white tape all the way up to the elbows. That's been my best, look. That was my King Booker run. When I was in full all white attire, but and the thing is that was my paying homage to JYD. No one really knew that. That's what the white was all about.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
JYD, and we just had one more come in real quick. This from Mel Manchild Jones, correcting or furthering, giving us some context from the Who Killed WCW doc. Come on, guys, talking about Brad Siegel. He thinks maybe he ran off with the bag.
Oh, okay.
Little under the table action.
You know what? I should have knew that, man. But I never really thought about the Siegel and those, Shaw and see. I never, even when I was there, I never really thought about those guys. But
why would you?
You know what? That might be true too. That might be true. Somebody could have ran off with the money. Somebody could have just said, "Man, let's just shut this down, man. We got some money over here, and in this little hole and tank. We'll do with that. When we'll figure that out later. You know what I mean? Shut it down." So I can see that happening as well. But if we was making $200 million a year, I think Siegel and Shaw would have said, "Man, let's see if we can build that stack up a little bit higher before we." That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Guys, we got to roll up out of here, man.
We got to get out of here, man.
I thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne, which is Caviar Dreams. As always, Brad, for all the heavy lifting. And again, man, I want to thank everybody for rolling with Brad and I. We national there, man. We national, and it's because of what, Brad? It's because of what?
The people.
All about the people, man. Thank you, guys. We love you. Peace. We out.